All right, this is the practice problem video for 9.2 exponent rules. So let's start with 1 through 10. We have the product rule. So product is the answer to a multiplication problem. And so the rule is to add the exponents. All right, so if we have 10 to the 5th times 10 to the 10th, we just do 5 plus 10, which is 15. So this is going to be 10 to the 15th power. All right. 2, 3, and 4 look about the same, so I think you guys can do that one. 5, this is really 10 times 1, so the coefficient in front of v to the 6 is 1. So we can just treat the numbers as normal. So this is 10 times 1, which is 10. Right? We don't have to do anything special with that because they don't have exponents, so that we don't use the exponent rules. So 10 times 1 is 10, and then v to the 10th times v to the 6th. We just do 10 plus 6, which is 16. 10 v to the 16th is the right answer there. So for number 6, remember, treat the numbers as normal because they don't have exponents, so we don't need to use the exponent rules. So this is 4 times 5 times 7. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 times 7 is 140. And then n to the 5th times n to the 6th times n to the 4th. We're just going to do 5 plus 6 plus 14, which is 15. So this is 14n to the 15th power. Okay, 7 and 8 are about the same. How about we do number 9? Multiply the numbers out as normal. 4 times 5 is 20. Then let's look at the x's. We're going to do x to the 8th times x to the 3rd. So we just do 8 plus 3, which is 11. So this is x to the 11th power. And then look at the y's. Y to the 3rd times y to the 2nd. We're just going to add the exponents, 3 and 2, and we get 5. So this is y to the 5th power. All right, you guys should be able to do 10. All right, the power rule. Okay, so if we're raising something to another power, so if we have like x squared to the 3rd power, okay, really what that means is it's x squared, x squared, x squared, right? 3 different times. And so we know from the product rule that this, what we would do is do 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, and we would get 6, right? And so that's how we could get that. But that's not so bad when we have, you know, the power of 3. But if this were 30, I don't want to write that out. Okay, so it's much easier to just recognize that the rule is to multiply the exponents. Okay, so if this were 30, this would be x to the 60th power. Okay, so again, the power rule is to multiply the exponents. Okay. Okay, so for 11, we could just multiply this out. So this is really -3 3 times. Okay, so -3 times -3, that's 9. And 9 times -3 is -27. All right, 2 squared, well, that's 4. Pretty easy. 15, we're going to multiply 7 times 9. So this is going to be b to the 63rd power. All right, now it gets a little tricky here, like 17. When we have multiple things that we have to distribute. So this is really going to be 5 times 1 because the 2 is raised to the first power. We just don't write that 1. So we do 1 times 5, which is 5. So this is going to be 2. I wrote a 2 to the 5th power. Okay, and then we distribute it out and do 5. Let's do that. 5. Uh-oh. Pen's acting up. There we go. 5 times 2, which is 10. So it's going to be b to the 10th power. Okay. All right, I'll give you those even ones to do. I'll do 19 as well. So again, we're going to distribute out this 10. This is 2 to the first power, so 1 times 10 is 10. This is 2 to the 10th, and then we do m to the 7th, so 7 times 10, which is m to the 70th, and then we do m to the 6th to the 10th power, which is 6 times 10, which is 60. There we go. All right, and the quotient rule. Quotient rule is we subtract the exponents. Okay, but let's actually write one of these out so that this makes sense why this works. So 9 to the 7th power, that just means we have 7 nines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 3 nines. 1, 2, 3. And we know that anything over itself is equal to 1, so it cancels out. So these are going to cancel out. And how many nines am I left with? 4 nines. So this is 9 to the 4th power. How could we get that a lot faster? Is just following the rule. There we go. And just subtracting the exponents. 7 minus 3 is 4. So this we can get that a lot faster. All right, 22, 23, and 24 are about the same. You can do those. All right, 25 through 30. So let's see. Remember, treat the numbers as normal, right? These don't have exponents. I mean, they do have 1, but we don't need to use the rules for those. So we're just going to look at 2 to the 8th and just reduce this to 1/4. Okay, and then for the exponents, we'll use the exponent rule. So x to the 10th divided by x to the 5th, we can just do 10 minus 5, which is 5. So this is going to be x to the 5th power. All right. 27, same thing. Reduce this, that's 4/5. And a to the 4th divided by a to the 3rd, we just do 4 minus 3, and that's 1. So we're just left with 1a. All right. I think you guys can do the rest there. How about we look at these more difficult ones? All right, 31. So this problem has all 3 rules in it. So first thing we want to do is simplify on the numerator and the denominator. So for the numerator, we have multiplication. So for multiplication, we want to add the exponents. So we're going to add 3 plus 4. We'll get 2 to the 7th power. And then we will simplify the denominator, which is powers. So we're going to use the power rule. This is really 2 to the 3rd times 2 to the 3rd, right? So we know that either by the multiplication rule, which is to add, or we can just look at the power rule, which is to multiply 3 times 2, and we get 6. So this is 2 to the 6th power. And now, why did I write a in the numerator? Sorry about that. I did it again. I'm going crazy. 2 to the 7th over 2 to the 6th. Now we have division. In division, we subtract the exponents. So this is 7 minus 6, which is 1. So I'm really just left with 2 here. All right. 32 looks about the same. Maybe I'll start it for you guys. This is a power rule, so we're going to multiply 2 times 3, which is 6. So this is 2 to the 6th power times 2 to the 3rd power. All right, the multiplication rule is to add the exponents, so that's 2 to the 9th power. And then the denominator, we'll just write this over there. So what would 2 to the 9th over 2? Well, this is really 2 to the 1st power, so we can do 9 minus 1, and we get 8. So this is, I don't know why I'm writing 2's as 8's. 2 to the 8th power. Okay. All right, 33 looks about the same. So remember, simplify the numerator. So what's the power rule? Okay, and then this is going to be multiplication. So when you simplify the denominator, you're going to use the addition rule, which is to add, or the multiplication rule, which is to add the exponents. All right, 34. I'll let you guys do those. Just remember when you do the denominator, the 2 and 2 are just normal numbers. Just multiply those out. 35. I'll let you do. 36 looks like maybe the hardest, so I'll go ahead and do this one for you. All right, so let's simplify the numerator. Okay, so we have this whole thing raised to the power of 8. So we're going to use the power rule and we're going to multiply. So again, don't forget to do this one. This is 2 to the first power to the 8th power. So we do 1 times 8. So this is 2 to the 8th power. Then we're going to do a to the 9th to the 8th power, which is 9 times 8. So this is going to be a to the 72nd power. All right, and then we'll do 8 times 5. So that's b to the 40th power. Over, in the denominator, we have multiplication. So the multiplication rule is to add the exponent. So let's look at the a's first. We'll do a to the 5th times a to the 1st. 5 plus 1 is 6. So this is a to the 6th power. And then we'll do the b's. B to the 5th times b to the 10th is b to the 15th. Okay. So we could leave 2 to the 8th power as 2 to the 8th, or we could actually, multiply that out 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 8 times, which is 256, I think. And then we're going to divide these exponents, which means we're going to subtract the exponents. So we're going to do 72 minus 6. Okay, so this is going to be a to the 66th power. And do the same thing for b. Subtract the exponents. 40 minus 15 is 25. So b to the 25th power. All right, so that is the final answer. You could have definitely written this or kept this as 2 to the 8th power, a to the 66th, b to the 25th. Either answer is correct, but I wanted to show you both. All right, if this is still not making sense to you, maybe watch this video again. If it's still not making sense, have your advisor call me. I can come down to your classroom or Google Meet with me. All right, good luck, guys.